Okay, so first of all, late night streams are back. Streaming this. This is also my third stream of the day, by the way. Rhyming accidentally over there. Okay, so Xfinity race. Let's talk about this Xfinity race that just happened earlier today, because it was pretty hot and slick from the outset, as you would expect from summer races, right? Thing is, however, it wasn't that hot during practice and qualifying, and you know how slick these concrete tracks in particular can get when they're under intense heat. Um, but anyways, Ty Gibbs on the pole. He started on the pole for this race, running the 19 car, with Cole Custer qualifying second and Ryan Sieg third, a couple of Fords. Remember, Ford is still winless in this race. Then you have AJ Allmendinger in fourth, Austin Hill in fifth, who will start at the rear due to an unapproved adjustment. Then Justin Allgaier, he qualified sixth. Noah Gragson qualified seventh, running the 30 car for Rhett Jones Racing for the second time this season. Then Chandler Smith, he qualified 8th, Riley Herbst 9th, and Parker Kligerman 10th. Then you have Tyler Reddick running. He qualified 11th. He's running the Sam Hunt Racing 26 car. Corey Heim was originally slated to be their driver for that race, but once the 23-11 deal came up, because remember, he's going to be racing on Sunday, tomorrow, so they decided to have Tyler Reddick race instead, so Corey Heim wouldn't have to work overtime preparing for the triple header. Like, I get it, racing triple headers when you're in your early 20s, that ain't for everyone, but it still would have been cool watching Corey Heim attempt that triple header, because he is definitely deserving of that opportunity. He's done so well this season so far. Then John Hunter Nemechek, he qualified 15th, running the 20 car. Also Jeremy Clements in 16th. Brennan Poole in 18th. Then Ross Chastain running the 92 car for DGM Racing. He qualified 20th. Then Matt DiBenedetto, he qualified 22nd. Sam Mayer qualified 24th. Josh Williams 26th. Shane Van Gisbergen 28th. This is his first start at Nashville. Then Carson Cavapo, he's back in the 88, running the 30. He qualified 30th. Haley Deegan, she qualified 31st, but she will also have to go to the rear for unapproved adjustments. Patrick Ermerling qualified 33rd, running the 07. Then Chad Fincham running the 14th, back behind the wheel of an Xfinity car. He qualified 35th. I do believe he's going to be running the Cup race tomorrow as well with the 66, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that for him. Garrett Smithley, also back in the Xfinity Series, in the 6 car for JD Motorsports. He qualified 36th. Logan Bearden, now running the 35 car for Joey Gase, qualified 37th. And finally, Jesse Love. He did not make a qualifying lap after the team found a hole on the radiator after practice. So they opted to just repair that issue, and obviously it didn't make a qualifying time. But he would have started from the rear again due to that being an unapproved adjustment. So they got it ready for the race. Several drivers went to the rear for unapproved adjustments. I already mentioned Austin Hill, Jesse Love, and Haley Deegan. But in addition to those three, Sheldon Creed, who qualified 14th, Jeb Burton, who qualified 19th, and Blaine Perkins, who qualified 34th. They were also sent to the rear for unapproved adjustments. 39 cars showed up. Only one car failed to qualify. That was Jade Buford in the Mike Harmon 74 car. He too failed inspection due to unapproved adjustments, and he was unable to qualify. And also because his car was the lowest in owner points, he was sent home. Pretty unfortunate for him, but it was an uphill climb for him anyways. Okay, so the race begins, and it's a stark contrast to what we saw in the truck race last night. It was pretty clean. Ty Gibbs and Cole Custer, they stayed side by side for the first 2 laps until the 19 clears him for the lead, and he starts to pull away to a 3-second lead over the course of this stage, which went green all the way. Allmendinger and Gragson, they got past Ryan Sieg for 3rd and 4th. We saw some big movers throughout the field, with Jesse Love and Austin Hill moving into the top 20 by lap 25. and Brandon Jones, a driver that is in the playoff bubble, but he's kind of slowly moving into that must-win territory. He moves into the top 5. But again, stage 1 went green all the way. Ty Gibbs wins with Allmendinger second, Brandon Jones third, Cole Custer, Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson, Riley Herbst, John Hunter, Chandler Smith, and Ryan Sieg running out the top 10, with the RCR teammates of Austin Hill and Jesse Love racing their way into the top 20, with Austin Hill making it all the way into 14th and Jesse Love to 16th. Then we go to pit road, the leaders pit, with Cole Custer winning the race of pit road over Brandon Jones and Riley Herbst. Ty Gibbs falls to 4th, Allmendinger falls to 6th. Unfortunately, that will be a trend for him. His pit crew just did not deliver for him all race long, and he had to fight not only against other competitors, he also had to fight against his own pit crew. Sammy Smith and Parker Kligerman penalized for speeding on this pit sequence. So we go to stage 2. Cole Custer is now leading. He clears ahead after Brandon Jones just had a bit of a slow restart, leaving him to battle for second along with John Hunter, Ty Gibbs, and Allmendinger. Long story short, John Hunter Nemechek wins out, and he goes on to take the lead from Cole Custer a couple of laps later, and go on to win stage 2, because like stage 1, stage 2 went green the rest of the way. So John Hunter Nemechek won stage 2 with Allmendinger second, Cole Custer third, Ty Gibbs fourth, Chandler Smith, Noah Gragson, Jesse Love, Brandon Jones, Allgaier, and Riley Herbst, who just barely got the final stage point over Sam Mayer after battling a cold suit failure all race long, or rather all stage long, because his cold suit just like failed before the restart. So we go to pit road. The leaders pit once again. This time, John Hunter Nemechek, he manages to hold the lead, winning the race of pit road over Custer and Allmendinger. Sam Mayer moves up to 5th, Justin Allgaier moves up to 6th, Austin Hill moves up to 7th, and Sheldon Creed moves up to 10th. Chandler Smith falls down to 9th. Brandon Jones and Jesse Love, they both fall out of the top 10 after slow stops. Jesse Love comes out 20th, Brandon Jones 22nd. And Riley Herbst, he came down pit road a lap earlier to pit and get his cold shirt or cold suit or whatever that thing is. It's called. I call it cold suit. To get that thing drained off, the water drained off, because it was already getting uncomfortable for him. Driving with a cold suit failing, you're basically driving in warm water. It was a lengthy process, so he would have started at the rear anyways. And also Kyle Weatherman, he gets penalized for speeding. So we go to stage 3, and John Hunter Nemechek continues to lead after what looked like a little bit of a tire spin on the double zeros part, which allowed the 20 to clear ahead. But not for long, as Cole Custer, he came back a couple of laps later to retake the lead. Meanwhile, Sammy Smith, he reports a loose right rear wheel, and he has to come down pit road. And Justin Allgaier also starts losing ground after reporting a voltage issue. He does stay in the top 5 though, battling for 4th along with Ty Gibbs, Chandler Smith, and Noah Gragson. And it is this battle right there, because they went on for about, I want to say 10 laps, but it could have been like less than that. But that battle for 4th, it definitely felt like 10 laps long because of how close proximity they were running. It was an intense battle. And it was this battle right there that generated the next caution. Allgaier got loose in turn 4 and spun Ty Gibbs out. Ty Gibbs with a little bit of damage on the rear end after backing into the wall a little bit. But yeah, green flag pit stops were about to begin too, so this caution will basically ensure that all teams were in the same pit strategy. So everyone pits to put their final set of sticker tires. Cole Custer wins the race of pit road over John Hunter Nemechek and Chandler Smith. Austin Hill moves up to 4th. Sheldon Creed up to 6th, Riley Herbst up to 7, and AJ Allmendinger, after a slow stop, falls down to 9th. Once again, his pit crew failed to deliver on all 3 of his pit stops. He lost 4 positions on the first pit stop. Then he lost, I believe it was like one position or two in the second pit stop, and then in the final stage, or rather in the final pit stop, he goes all the way. He loses, I don't know how many spots. He went from second. He lost 7 spots. He came back 9th. And of course, Justin Allgaier has a long stop as well, but that one is due to a battery change, honestly. So we go to the restart, and Cole Custer, he just has a good restart, but unfortunately he goes wide in turn 2, and he just misses the corner, and this allows John Hunter and Chandler Smith to take the top 2 spots. Custer falls all the way down to 6th after struggling with a tight race car. It's pretty clear that Double Zero team just botched their final pit stop. They needed to nail it, and nail it good, so Custer could bring it home for them, but they just missed the mark completely. I'm going to say it right now, Cole Custer did not win this race. He just did not. That streak for Ford, he just got extended. They are now 0 for 17 on this Xfinity season, which is crazy. And unfortunately for Cole Custer, like I said, the caution did not come out immediately, despite some drivers having issues, like Sheldon Creed, who came down pit road under green, reporting a battery issue just like Allgaier. The team eventually had to go under the hood to address the issue and check the alternator. So in the end, no caution came out, so all John Hunter Nemechek had to do was manage the lap traffic, which got a little bit dicey towards the end, but he had built up a big enough of a gap over his teammate Chandler Smith to where he could just, stay behind them and cruise to the finish line and win his second race of the year, which was also the 5th win for the 20 car, for the JGR 20 car. Because if you remember, they had also won last week with Christopher Bell at New Hampshire, and now at Nashville with John Hunter. This being his 2nd win for them this year, making him the only driver so far to win multiple races in the 20 car this year. He has 2 wins, and then Bell has the win that race that he won in New Hampshire last week, then Almirola at Martinsville, and Ryan Truex at Dover. So let's check out the finishing results here. I got my phone with me to make the finishing results pretty easier for me to follow here. Let's check here. So John Hunter won the race. I'm not gonna say he was like the best car, but he was like the best car towards the end of that race. With Chandler Smith a pretty close second. He and Chandler, they finished like a full 9 seconds. I want to say 9 seconds ahead of the 3rd place car, but then again, Jesse Love, the moment Jesse Love got 3rd, he started cutting into them. I believe, I'm going to say they finished like 8 seconds ahead of him. 7 or 8 seconds, yeah. And yeah, Jesse Love finished 3rd. He definitely came alive in that final stretch after starting from the rear too. So shout out to Jesse Love there. And he was also another one of those drivers who suffered a cold suit failure towards the end of the race. So go figure. Austin Hill finished 4th. Noah Gragson 5th. Also, speaking of cold suits, Chandler Smith did not wear a cold suit for this race. He ran 2 hours under 100 plus degree Fahrenheit temperature. I want to say 120 degrees Fahrenheit temperature, with no cool suit. What an absolute mad lad. But yeah, Noah Gragson finished 5th. Riley Herbst finished 6th. Again, shout out to Riley Herbst for just braving it through. The guy was just exhausted after the race ended. He just had to be like rehydrated. I don't know. He was not like quite heat exhaustion, but I know he had to be taken to the care center to get some fluids. Over on his body. Definitely shout out to him for just coming back, and even after they had to change the cold suit, even after starting from the back on stage 3, he made it all the way back to 6th. He even had a top 5 going on before Jesse Love came into his own. Allmendinger 7th. If we are being honest, that should have been a top 5. Allmendinger had, in my opinion, the best long run car. It's just that the cautions, they just, if it wasn't for stage cautions, he definitely would have won this race, because there shouldn't have been that many cautions, honestly. The race was just clean all the way. But yeah, Allmendinger was, in my opinion, the best long run car of the race, but it's just that the pit stop did not do him any favors. That 16 crew, they single-handedly cost Allmendinger the race. I'm gonna say it right now. Justin Allgaier finishes 8th. Again, great bounce back from him after that battery change that they had to do. Cole Custer finished 9th. Again, just like Allmendinger, that 00 team, they didn't lose him spots on pit road, but that final pit stop, whatever they did to that 00 car to make it run better, it just backfired. It was that 00 ran atrocious. They went from a top 5 car to finishing 9th. And that was one of the race-winning cars in my opinion as well, along with Allmendinger and Ty Gibbs. Those three were, in my opinion, the guys to beat. And then Sam Mayer, he rounds out the top 10. Pretty quiet race for Sam Mayer, but again, he's finally finding some consistency. Then Ryan Sieg in 11th. Pretty solid race overall, but considering the fact that he started 3rd, he could have done so much more. But at least he did get some. He gained some ground on Sammy Smith, who is that 12th place car on the playoff bubble grid. Because Sammy Smith, if you guys remember, he had to pit for a loose wheel early in stage 3. So because of that, he finished poorly. Also due to the fact that there weren't any cautions to help him get back on a lead lap or get him on a better strategy. So yeah, tough luck for him. Carson Kvapil 12th. Considering that he was running below the top 20 for about the first half of the race, the fact that he almost came, he was like finished knocking on the door to a top 10, that's honestly amazing. Brandon Jones 13th, Tyler Reddick 14th. He was literally, I almost forgot Reddick was running this race until I looked at the finishing results. I was like, oh yeah, Tyler Reddick ran this race, that's right. Shane Bergen 15th on his first start at Nashville. That is amazing. Top 15. That's amazing. The guy's really learning quick. Parker Kligerman finished 16th. Parker Retzlaff 17th. Let's see. Ty Gibbs 20th. Yeah. After that incident with Allgaier, that car was just never the same with that damage that he had. It definitely affected him. It definitely affected him aerodynamically, and considering that this track was as hot and slick as they come, where a single adjustment can just throw the entire handling of your car off balance, yeah. Josh Williams 24th. He just got outrun by Bangus Bergen. Ross Chastain 27th. You may think it's because he's driving the 92, but he has taken that 92 places before. Okay, so his brakes. He was reporting a brake failure towards the end of the race. So yeah, that explains why he finished 27th. Haley Diggin 28th. Hey, at least she had another incident-free race. Matt DiBenedetto 29th. Oh yeah, Sammy Smith 30th. This poor finish right there is gonna cost him on the playoff grid. Now he is now fighting for Ryan Sieg, only 11 points over Ryan Sieg for the final playoff spot. Which is honestly crazy too, because Sammy Smith has the most top 10s among all of the JR Motorsports drivers. Or at least tied for the most top 10s now, because entering this race, he had the most top 10s. But now, well, Justin Allgaier and Sam Mayer had one less. But now, after this race, Allgaier and Sam Mayer, they both finished in the top 10. So now they're all tied at 9 now. But yeah, when it comes to Sammy Smith, when he's not finishing the top 10, he is finishing outside the top 20. Something always happens to him. That's, I guess, a par for the course when it comes to the 8 car. I honestly don't know what's up with that JRM 8 car. It's always hit or miss ever since Junior decided to bring back the 8 car in 2019. That 8 car has been, it doesn't matter who drives it, the results have always been hit or miss. Aside from the Josh Berry years, for the 2 years with Josh Berry. But if it's not Josh Berry driving, the results are mixed when it comes to that 8 car. Sheldon Creed 33rd. Yeah, that pitting for that voltage issue late in the race. He had to pit on the green. He just could not take it anymore. And then Patrick Emmerling finishes last, I guess. But yeah, all of these guys, no one DNF'd. All of these guys, they finished running the race. The last place car, Patrick Emmerling, he finished like 3-4 laps down. Yeah, there were no DNFs in this race. This was a pretty clean race. This was a pretty clean race. So you guys know me. I honestly have nothing bad to say about this race when it's as clean as they come. Only one caution related to accident and then 2 stage cautions. 3 cautions total. Some people on social media were saying the racing was like a follow the leader, single line groove type of affair. I didn't see it that way. There was actually plenty of passing throughout the field, especially on stage 3 when we saw guys like Jesse Love, Justin Allgaier, and Riley Herbst restart at the rear for multiple issues, and all 3 of those guys, they finished in the top 10 at the end, so passing was more than manageable. The thing was, with the car being hot and slick, the cars were on edge to such a degree that a single tweak in the setup will alter the handling completely. And again, big shout out to NBC for following up with all of those battles in the midfield. I mentioned the incident that took out Ty Gibbs out of contention for the race win. Before that incident, the cameras, they were all on Ty Gibbs and Allgaier and Gragson and Chandler Smith battling for that fourth position all race long. This is stuff like this that keeps you engaged in the race, and not like Fox, that it's just they have the cameras focused on the leader, and when they're not doing that, they're going to commercials, full screen commercials with like 15 laps to go. Don't think I forgot about that. And this brings me to my next point. The weather. It was hot out there. We saw a couple of cool suit failures too. I mentioned Riley Herbst and Jesse Love, but also Justin Allgaier and Sheldon Creed, who were dealing with electrical issues. No doubt it was because of those fans and cool suits being turned on that really consumed the battery. And that's another reason why we should have more night races, especially in the summer months. Honestly, the Cup series, they did good with Iowa being a late afternoon race that ended in the early hours of the night. You know, credit to them. But the Xfinity race should have been a night race too. Iowa should have been a night race. And of course, tomorrow's Cup race is going to be a day race for whatever reason. Last year it was a night race. It was alright. And if we're looking at the remainder of the schedule, you know, it's a good thing that I have my phone with me. If we're looking at the remainder of the schedule for the Cup series right here, let's see. We have Gateway. Gateway should have been a night race, in my opinion. Then we have okay, we're racing at Nashville next, that should be a night race. I don't know why they're starting at like 3:30 p.m. like almost every other race. Then we have the Chicago Street Course. That's a street course. That, you know, road courses are not night races. Pocono doesn't have lights. Indianapolis doesn't have lights. Okay, not a good start there. Then we have the Olympic break, and we resume at Richmond, which is a night race. Well, it's held on Sunday, but it's a night race in the summer, so that's fine. Michigan doesn't have lights. Daytona, that second Daytona race is always a night race. Darlington is a Southern 500, but so it's a late afternoon race that starts in the late afternoon and it ends in the night. So yeah, it's a night race. But if you ask me, the Xfinity race, if you look at the Xfinity race at Darlington, it starts at 3:30 p.m. Let's make this race a night race. Come on, let's make this race a night race. Because if the Cup race is being held at night and it's Labor Day weekend, why can't the Xfinity race be held at night too? If you ask me, every track that has at least 2 dates and it has lights, one of the races should at the very least be a night race. Now that I think about it, Atlanta. You know, now that I think about it, I was under the impression, I don't know why, but I was under the impression that the Atlanta race, that was going to be the playoff opener for the Cup Series, I thought it was going to be a night race. It's actually not. It's an afternoon race. I don't know why. Yeah, Atlanta honestly should be a night race in my opinion, or at the very least a late afternoon race for the the Cup Series. Like, same argument as I have with Darlington. Atlanta, they race at Atlanta 2 times a year, so make one of the races a day race and then make the other race a night race. And because they're racing at Atlanta in September this year, why not make it a night race? And then Watkins Glen's a road course, and then the Bristol night race is like. And then the Bristol night race is like the Bristol night race. You don't mess with that one. And yeah, that should honestly do it for the summer months. But you get the point. We need more night races, and not just on the Cup side, but for the Xfinity races as well. There's so much missed opportunity, especially in the summer months. You know, for as much shit as we give the Truck Series, they actually do a pretty good job having a large portion of the races being night races. You know, that being said, most of that has to do with the fact that on triple headers they tend to race on Fridays, but still, even when it's just double headers, they keep holding night races, especially in the summer months. Check this out. Aside from Gateway, which, you know, honestly, it should be a night race if you're gonna run it like in June, almost summertime. You got Nashville, which is a night race. Then you got Pocono, which is, you know, a day race, which is, you know, Pocono has no lights, so let's skip that. You got IRP, which is, for you guys who don't know, it's the Indianapolis Raceway Park, the short track, Indianapolis short track. They run that race at night. Richmond is a night race, the first weekend after the Olympic break. And then you got Milwaukee, which is it's a day race, but it could also be a night race. They're racing in Wisconsin, so I really doubt it's that hot. But then again, it's August, so that's like one of the hottest, arguably the hottest month of the year. So I wouldn't mind if Milwaukee, they turned it into a night race. And then of course Bristol, which is already a night race, and then that should do it for the summer months. So maybe I'm overreacting, but my point is, if you're gonna race at a track in the summer, and you know the weather's gonna be hot, and the track has lights, NASCAR should definitely consider making it a night race. And if these drivers were exhausted after 250 miles of racing, I do not even want to imagine what the Cup drivers will look like after 400 miles tomorrow. There's gonna be, if there's not a single Cup driver that ends in the care center for heat exhaustion, not a single one, I'm definitely gonna be surprised, because tomorrow looks to be a pretty hot day, and they start at 3:30 p.m. They start at 3:30 p.m. They start much earlier, and they're gonna be running 400 miles. Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm praying for these drivers tomorrow. I'm praying for these drivers tomorrow. I'm not a religious person, but I'm praying for these drivers' safety tomorrow, because holy shit, it's smoking hot out there.